back to my channel. My name is Haley. If you are new here, welcome. It's been a minute. The last couple of months have been wild. So much has happened and I feel bad that I haven't come back to YouTube sooner, but you know, life is sometimes outside of our control. Yeah, the last couple months were a time. But you know, it's summer now. Birds are outside my office window in a little nest, chirping for their mama to come feed them some worms. And I'm here with you all to figure out life. And by life, I mean my next writing project. So it's been a minute since I've worked on anything like really long term, but with Camp NaNoWriMo coming up, I've decided what better way to not only get stuff done for my master's program, because I have to do a creative project and I need to start figuring out that this summer as well, but also just a great way to get back into writing and the practice of writing than a challenge to write up to 50,000 words in a month. And for those of you who don't know what Camp NaNoWriMo is, it's very similar to NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. Since the creation of NaNoWriMo, there has been a lot of offspringing and camp is one of them. So Camp NaNoWriMo stems from NaNoWriMo. It's the same organization. They just do two different camps during the summer, one in April, one in July, and then the big NaNoWriMo in November. So typically it's 50,000 words in a month, but for camp you can kind of pick and choose how many words you actually want to do. So for me, I am creating my creative project for my master's. I'm going into my second year of my master's creative writing program, but it is an MA, not an MFA. I have to be applying for MFAs this fall, so if you're interested in that journey, make sure to follow me. I'm sure I will post more about that and within the next several months that I am creating content for you all. And if you're interested in any more of my MA versus MFA journey right now, leave questions or comments below and I'll make sure to address them in a future video. Because I am planning on trying to talk more about why I chose to do an MA instead of an MFA to start out. But if y'all can give me some like more curated questions so that it's more specific to what y'all are interested in, I would really much appreciate it. So yeah, basically we're starting the journey of deciding what my new project's gonna be. I started brainstorming a bit yesterday, and so I have a couple ideas like on the furrows a little bit. They're coming together, basically. I have something in the works. I'm not gonna go too into it yet just because I'm still really just attempting to figure out exactly the type of project I want to do first and foremost. And then as I continue down deciding what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a little series for YouTube here about just figuring out my project and the major questions that I'm asking and that kind of process. So if you're interested in that, make sure to stay tuned. That was just a lot. I don't want to make this video super long. I'm gonna keep it short, but what I can tell you about my creative project is that I am really interested in the autonomy of Jewish literature. I am Jewish, I am a Jewish writer, and I want to make that more prevalent in my writing, especially with the rise of anti-Semitism in the United States especially, but worldwide in general. I just feel like I had been resisting writing about more Jewish themes, more Jewish characters, which has been a problem within our culture for a long time, is this idea of Jewish assimilation and not calling attention to ourselves and being safe within the confines of our identities. But then also thinking about it being Pride Month and being bisexual, queer, Jewish writer, I want to be able to step out of my own comfort zone and be like, hey, I should be writing about things within my identity. I shouldn't be hiding the fact that I am Jewish. And I mean, I wear a Star of David, but there's a lot of stereotypes and caricatures out there in literature with Jewish characters, and I want to be able to really counter that, I guess. I don't know if there's a better way to say that, but I just took a course development workshop for Jewish literature, and I am going to a Jewish poets conference in just a couple of weeks to talk about what it means to be a Jewish writer, specifically a Jewish poet. I write poetry as well, not just fiction, though I have have been primarily doing just fiction on my channel, and then figuring out, okay, how can I combine my identities? How can I use my literature to really address problems that are happening right now? And I've always been wanting to address problems in my fiction, and mostly through themes and things like that. But I think within the last year especially, I've really come to terms with my Jewishness, I guess, and that I shouldn't be afraid to hide. And it feels like a very big step to even talk about that on my channel. But I want you guys to know that I'm a Jewish writer, and this is stuff that I'm going to be exploring with my writing going forward. And I want to take you guys along with me on that journey as well, if you're interested in that. I think being in the Midwest as well, it's been kind of hard. I'm the only Jew in my English program, though my mentor in the fall got her PhD in Jewish studies as well, and that was awesome to get to hear her stuff, even though she's not technically Jewish, technically. And I've had experiences with workshops before where I would write something, and to me, my characters are Jewish because I am Jewish, and although I could write a character of another culture, ethnicity, religion, whatever, because Judaism is such a ethnic and also religious concept. I'm not religious per se. I do high holidays and all of that jazz. I don't consider myself very religious, but my ethnicity is Jewish. And so dealing with that and figuring out, okay, if there's a category for African American lit, Asian American lit, LGBTQ lit, then there's a category for Jewish lit. And that's only becoming more relevant now as more Jewish authors and just Jewish creatives in general in Hollywood are getting to own their Jewish identity and not trying to hide it quite as much, and not trying to assimilate into white culture as much as we used to assimilate. So I hope that makes sense. If you want to hear more about that, I'm sure I'll talk about it again, or more specifically, how I'm planning on going about it. I don't know. There's still so much that I'm in the dark about, and still so much that I'm trying to learn. And I'm definitely not the authority on all Jewish writing by any means necessarily. I definitely want to focus my research efforts into more of Jewish literature and the history of Jewish literature, and I know that that is going to affect my writing and what kind of fiction and poetry or playwriting or whatever I do. It's going to affect that, there's no separating it out. And I think that's part of why I was always so drawn to more speculative fiction, was because I didn't have to label myself a certain identity. And now it's like, I still love speculative literature. I'm still completely drawn. I'm still writing in magical realism, but now I'm labeling it more towards Jewish surrealism than I am magical realism, because I feel so inept about how Jewish mysticism ties into literature and folklore. And I mean, Jews had vampires and mermaids. There's just so much folklore out there that I'm still discovering. And I mean, that was why I was so drawn to paganism, because I loved the mysticism aspect. I love the crystals and how in touch I could become with pulling a tarot card, And so I still think of myself as like spiritual and a witch, but I'm a Jewish witch. I think it's very freeing to just say that aloud. I kind of feel like a weight is being lifted off my shoulders right now. That's kind of fun. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really plan on saying all of that, so if that was a complete mess of everything that I just said, I apologize. I just wanted to let you guys know kind of where my thoughts are at in terms of this upcoming project that I'm planning on writing. And it's gonna be fiction primarily, and I'm leaning towards a short novel in Flash. So reoccurring characters, different things like that, but it's going to be on the shorter end of the spectrum. I'm thinking maybe 130 to 150 pages, so a little bit longer than a novella, but shorter than a novel, and split up into sections that contain shorter flash fiction pieces that will tie it all together. So that's kind of where my head is at. In terms of type and genre will be Jewish Surrealism. That's about where we're at. I started coming up with a little bit of outlining characters things, but I'm going to talk about that more in another video. But yeah, please let me know in the comments what y'all think. If you are planning on working on something for Camp NaNoWriMo, let me know what that is, where you're at, if you're planning it out or not. And I'm just excited to be coming back to the platform after my couple of months of craziness. I had been planning on coming way sooner than I did, but life threw me a lot of curveballs back to back, and I'm still kind of in that recovery process of getting through that stuff. But I am hoping that working on my project and coming back to YouTube and trying to find some of those normalcies that I had been missing in my life for a while will really help me get kind of back on track, not only with my writing, but with my sense of self. I hope y'all are doing well. I just wanted to let you all know what's upcoming, planning for camp videos, Camp NaNoWriMo videos, and MA, MFA content upcoming, and then also just content about being a Jewish writer in general and my journey through identity crisis stuff. It's not really a crisis, but like discovering how I can use my writing to fuel my identity. That's it for me. So I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Bye and subscribe.